The opening scene features a journalist and artist, Ree, who visits an underground construction site somewhere in Denmark in order to document the life of workers there. She takes an elevator and makes her way to the underground, where the construction of a metro is going on. While guiding her deeper into the tunnel, one of the workers hands her with a makeshift apparatus used for breathing under claustrophobic situations. He also mentally prepares her in case something goes wrong inside the tunnel. Moving deeper, Ree comes across a group of workers, with whom he shares some pastries and coffee while having a brief chit-chat. After this, she begins wandering around the site, taking pictures of the workers and asking them several questions regarding their job and families. She discovers that the workers are from all over the world, all speaking different languages and having different backgrounds. Despite these differences, she finds a commonality that all of them are away from their families and are longing to see them. This makes her feel bad, and she pities them for working in such conditions. Sometime later, Ree comes across Ivo, the man in charge of the project. He is currently fixing a leakage in the air pipe with his apprentice, Baran. She requests Ivo to take her to their main drill so that she can see how things actually work. The latter agrees and leads her there, but he does not allow her to enter the cutter head behind the main compartment, citing its risk of minimal oxygen level. Despite this, Ree convinces them by saying that she is authorized to go anywhere she wants. While in the chamber, she talks to the men, and also takes their picture. As their conversation unfolds, Ivo tells her that the engineers do their job with their computers and lasers. But they still rely on him to crawl into the cutter head under pressure and change the cutters with bare hands. Not long after, a crew member named Adrian shows up and argues with Ivo for letting a journalist into the main chamber. He informs Ree that there are only 2 oxygen tanks to circulate enough air in the chamber. So, he pulls her out of there and locks their chamber from outside before proceeding with an inspection process. However, he does allow her to watch the inspection process via camera and through the window. Adrian then pumps the oxygen inside, while Ivo and Baran wait for enough pressure to be built before entering the cutter head. Amidst this, Baran shows her a water bottle getting squeezed, which makes her realize that the pressure level inside the chamber is similar to being far under the ocean. As the pressure increases to a limit, Ivo enters the cutter head and begins the inspection. He learns that the cutter number 3 is not working, so he uses his walkie-talkie to ask Adrian to arrange a new one. The latter reminds him it is only an inspection day and that it is not necessary to address the issue immediately. However, Ivo insists on fixing the cutter because, one way or another, it has to be fixed. Their conversation is abruptly interrupted when Adrian hears an alarm for carbon monoxide poisonous gas somewhere in the tunnel. Before he can comprehend the situation, he notices smoke filling the tunnel, indicating a fire. He quickly instructs Ree to rush to the refugee chamber where she will be safe. However, she panics as she does not know the way, and she is not familiar enough to navigate the way on her own. Afraid that she might get lost, Adrian locks her into a medical chamber which is connected to the chamber Ivo and Baran are in. He then turns on the oxygen and leaves. Shortly after, the chamber's lights suddenly go out for a while. When they come back on, she tries to look outside from a tiny window, but all she sees is pitch-black darkness. In a state of panic, Ree taps on another window and manages to catch Ivo and Baran's attention. They ask how she ended up there, and she explains that Adrian put her in here to keep her safe, but now, he is nowhere to be seen. The guys then ask her to remain calm, assuring her that help is on the way. Time passes by, and the chamber's temperature keeps on rising, probably due to the fire outside. This causes Ree to sweat heavily, so she removes some layers of her clothing. However, the situation only gets tough as the temperature surpasses 50 degrees. Unable to tolerate it, she knocks on the window and expresses her uneasiness. Ivo then tells her to open the chamber's door and come to their compartment. Ree tries doing so, but learns that the door has been jammed. She then looks around and spots a wooden log, which she uses to hit the wheel knob. This ultimately opens the door. Once the opening space is enough, they pull her out of the chamber and let her into theirs. Ree finally experiences a sense of relief and chugs down an entire bottle of water, quenching her extreme thirst. After taking a moment to regain composure, she asks if they are going to die. Baran also appears to be scared, which makes the situation more intense. However, Ivo asks both of them to stay calm so that they consume less oxygen. Ree questions why they are waiting here instead of doing something to make their way out. In response, Ivo explains that the pressure outside the chamber is so high that opening the door can lead to an explosion and might deplete all of their oxygen. He also adds that there is a medical supply area outside, but it is too dangerous for any of them to go there. Moreover, they are not even sure that the supplies are still there. As a result, the best thing they can do is to wait. After a while, Ree's phone rings, and the men get excited, thinking that her phone has signals. However, it is actually an alarm to remind her to pick up her daughter from school. The three then begin to talk about their families, and Ree shows them some photos and videos of her young daughter. Later, while everyone is sleeping, she comes up with an idea and tries sneaking back into the medical chamber. In the process, Eva wakes up, so she makes up a lie, saying she is going to urinate. He then helps get into the chamber and even closes the door for her privacy. In an unexpected turn of events, Ree tries to lock the door by putting back the wheel knob. It turns out that she was planning to lock Ivo and Baran inside the main compartment and stay in the medical bay with her hidden supplies. However, her plan is thwarted as Ivo quickly realizes what she is doing and opens the door hastily. The two guys then make their way into the medical chamber and find a breathing apparatus, which she had been hiding for this entire time. Enraged by the betrayal, Ivo starts to fight for the breather when the lights suddenly go off. By the time it restores, Ivo has the breather in his hand and he orders Baran to tie her up. Now that he is armed with the breathing apparatus, Ivo decides to go out to the refugee chamber and get some supplies for all of them. During this, the three of them have a short debate on who should go out as they no longer trust each other. Baran claims that he needs to survive for his family because he owes them a lot of money. Despite this, Ivo somehow manages to convince them, assuring that he will return for their rescue. As he prepares to open the chamber, a rescue team shows up outside, bringing great relief to the occupants. The team instructs them to decompress the chamber so that they can open the door from outside. Heeding to their instruction, Ivo releases the gas pressure to make the chamber gas-free. While they wait, Ree inquires why Baran owes money to his family, to which he reveals that he was kidnapped a few years ago, which forced his family to borrow a huge sum of money. His sad story touches her heart, so she promises to help him as soon as they make their way out. In the midst of the decompressing process, a massive explosion occurs outside the chamber, claiming the lives of all the rescuers. As a consequence, the temperature inside the chamber suddenly rises, and the things around them start to melt. This prompts the three occupants to rush back to the main compartment. When decompression starts taking its toll, they are forced to retreat further into the restricted cutterhead, a small opening above the main compartment. Baran crawls out and helps Ree, but Ivo passes out inside the compartment. The two somehow manage to drag him out but accidentally drop him from a height, resulting in his serious injuries. They then hurriedly climb down and try to wake Ivo, but he eventually passes away. While Baran mourns his death, Ree hears some sound and realizes that they are close to trains. Filled with a new sense of hope, she first shuts the door behind them to prevent any more heat and smoke from entering the cutterhead and then begins digging her way around the walls. She soon finds a hole, so she hurriedly asks Baran to let go of his friend's body and accompany her. Baran then crawls through the muddy hole, while Ree retrieves her breathing apparatus from Ivo before following him. Upon reaching the other side, Baran turns around to pull Ree in. As they make their way forward, the two inadvertently fall into a pit and get engulfed by darkness. Ree quickly takes out her phone and turns on the flashlight, only to find Baran unconscious. In a state of panic, she takes the breathing apparatus and begins digging in random directions. She hopes to find an exit, but even after a lot of hard work, nothing appears. Distraught, Ree then wakes Baran up and tells him that they need to hug each other to stay warm. After some time, they begin to struggle for breath due to very low oxygen levels. Ree and Baran share the breathing apparatus, hoping they can survive until rescue arrives. But each time they pass it, their struggle intensifies, which eventually leads to a desperate fight for the breather. In the end, Baran manages to keep the apparatus, and Ree passes out. But he doesn't get to use it for long as he, too, falls unconscious.